Hello friends, this video on nuclei part 14 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 13 before going ahead with part 14. So what were the types of radioactive decay? Alpha decay. Alpha decay is the one in which an alpha particle is emitted. So that is why the name alpha decay. So what is an alpha particle? It is nothing but the helium nucleus. Beta decay is the one where a beta particle is emitted. Beta particle is nothing but an electron or a positron. So in this decay, electron or positron will be emitted. So if electron is emitted, we call it as a beta minus decay. If positron is emitted, we call it as a beta plus decay. The third one is gamma decay, in which high energy photons, that is gamma radiations, are emitted. So these are the three types of decays which are named depending upon the kind of particle which is emitted during the decay, right? So now let us start our discussion with alpha decay. So what happens in an alpha decay? Alpha particle is emitted, that is one thing. Now what happens if the alpha particle is emitted? Let us take an example of alpha decay. Let us take an example of an unstable nucleus. Let us suppose I take the example of uranium. So the atomic number is 92 and mass number is 238. So it is unstable, so it tries to become stable by forming some other nuclei. What happens? Alpha particle is emitted, that is helium-2, 4. Now since one helium is emitted, another nucleus which is emitted is known as the daughter nucleus. And this uranium is known as parent nucleus. In this case, the atomic number decreases by 2. Why does that happen? Because if you look at it, it is a nuclear reaction. So this reaction has to be balanced on both sides, right? Now, this helium already has atomic number 2. So that means whichever element is present here, its atomic number will become 90. Right? So that means this will no more be uranium. It will become some other element. So which is the element with atomic number 90? It is thorium. Right? So therefore we say that the atomic number decreases by 2. What happens to the mass number? Mass number decreases by 4 because mass number of helium is 4. So the mass number also should be same on both sides of the reaction. So the mass number becomes 234. So this is an example of alpha decay. It is a spontaneous process. That means you don't really need to supply any energy, or you do not need any external agent to initiate the process. It happens on its own. So because it does not happen with every nucleus, it happens only with radionuclides. So a radionuclide by itself, it emits alpha particle and forms another stable and lighter nuclei. So it is a spontaneous process because you really don't need to do anything to make this happen. So this was all about alpha decay. Now, generally, a generalized form of a reaction is represented in this way. Let us suppose I have some element X with atomic number X and mass number A. If it undergoes alpha decay, it forms some other element Y with atomic number Z-2 and mass number A-4 plus alpha particle. So this X is known as the parent nucleus and this Y is known as the daughter nucleus. So this is the general representation of alpha decay. So now in order to understand the reaction of the alpha decay, we will introduce something called Q value of alpha decay. What is this Q value? It is basically a parameter or a characteristic of a nuclear reaction which tells us whether the nuclear reaction is energetically allowed or not. I mean whether that reaction can actually take place or is it practically possible or not. So let us try to see what is Q value. How do we define Q value? It is basically the difference between initial mass energy and final mass energy of decay products. That means the difference between the initial mass energy. So what was the initial mass energy? Let us consider our generalized equation of alpha decay. So it forms Y, Z-2, A-4 plus alpha particle. right? So what is my initial rest mass energy? So the initial rest mass energy, let me denote it as Uy. So this is my initial thing and this is my final thing, right? So the initial rest mass energy would be equal to the mass of this, right? Now, whenever we are talking about this nuclear reaction, we are talking about nuclear masses. I mean, we are bothered about nuclear masses. We are not bothered about atomic masses. Like how we were calculating the mass defect. In mass defect also, we were bothered about nuclear masses and not the atomic masses. So similarly here also, when I calculate the initial mass energy, so what am I calculating? What is rest mass energy? Rest mass energy is nothing but mc square. This is the rest mass energy, right? So what would be the rest mass energy of this? It would be the atomic mass of this, right? Now when you consider the atomic mass, you will have to subtract the mass of electrons. So from this you will subtract the mass of how many electrons? There are Z protons present in it. That means there would be Z electrons present in it. So you subtract the mass of Z electrons, right? So this will be your initial rest mass energy. Similarly, you calculate the final rest mass energy. So for the final rest mass energy, what would be your rest mass? It would be mass of Y Z minus 2 A minus 4, right? So again, this is the atomic mass. So you have to subtract the mass of the electrons. So how many electrons are present in this sample? Z minus 2. So minus Z minus 2 mass of electrons plus mass of this alpha particle, that is mass of helium nucleus, He24. Again, in this also you will have 2 electrons. So subtract the mass of those 2 electrons. So this will be the final rest mass energy. Now how do I define Q value? Q value is generally denoted by Q, and it is the difference between initial rest mass energy and final rest mass energy. So Ui minus Uf. So this will be equal to mxza minus zme minus m of y z minus 2 a minus 4 minus z minus 2 me. I'm sorry, this will become plus. Again, this will be minus plus minus mass of helium nucleus plus 2me into c square. So now if you see, this is minus 2me, this is plus 2me, so these two will cancel. This is plus zme, this is minus zme, so this 2 will also cancel. So we are left with mass of X minus mass of Y minus mass of the alpha particle. So here whatever masses we are talking about, they are all atomic masses now, right? So the Q value for alpha decay, so whenever you have a reaction undergoing alpha decay, you can determine the Q value of that reaction using this formula, which says that Q value is equal to atomic mass of X minus atomic mass of Y minus atomic mass of the alpha particle, which is emitted, into C square. So this is the Q value. Now, if the value of this Q is positive, that means that an equation is energetically allowed. So if Q is positive, that means the reaction is energetically allowed. But if Q is negative, that means the reaction is not energetically allowed. So what is this Q actually? This Q is basically the amount of energy which is extra here. For example, it is basically the difference between the energies of the reactants and the products. So if Q is positive, that means energy of initial is greater than the energy of final. When I say that Q is positive means Q is greater than 0. That means ui minus uf is greater than 0. That means ui is greater than uf. That means energy on this side is greater than energy on this side. That means there is still some free energy. So where will that free energy go? That free energy is then seen as in the form of kinetic energy in this daughter nucleus and the alpha particle. So when this alpha decay takes place, the daughter nucleus and the alpha particle is formed. Now if Q is positive, then the value of Q will be used as kinetic energy by the daughter nucleus and the alpha particle. So now you understand the phenomenon which actually takes place behind alpha decay, right? Okay. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.